And the Indian Sports Network is on the air. Good evening, everybody. This is Kenny Masterson coming to you live from Elsberry High School in Elsberry, Missouri. And tonight we are going to see actually, we're going to see two varsity basketball games. First one will be between the Elsberry High School Lady Indians and the Warrenton High School Lady Warriors. The second game coming up is going to be the Elsberry boys team, the Elsberry Indians versus the Warrenton Warriors. We got about 11 minutes, I guess, before the game starts, something like that. And so, again, the girls' game is first. So we're just going to go over a little bit of preliminary things. They're showing there was the girls' team heading back into the locker room. There's the Warrenton girls team out there warming up. This is Warrenton's first game of the season. So they have a 0-0 record. So there's absolutely no way for me to know how they're going to do. I'm just sitting here watching them practice. Practice it in the game, though. Elsberry is coming off. They are 2-0 for the season. They're coming off of a win 2 nights ago, Monday night, over Christian High School out of O'Fallon. It was a 53-35 victory. And they beat Winfield late last week. Well, I guess it was Saturday evening they beat Winfield. So the all-time record between these two, and I'm talking the girls team here for this, the all-time record is 7-5 with Warrenton coming out on top on their all-time record. And the most recent play was 21st of November last year when Elsberry won the game 36-29. That was in Warrenton. So, but they had lost several before that in a row. So Elsberry only has the one win in a row now. That's their streak. Hopefully they'll make it 2 wins in a row after this game. So before we get into the rosters, and I'll just give you the starting lineups as they are announced out here, as they're introducing them. But let's go ahead and get a couple of commercials in here before we get started on the rosters.
Since 1995, Heartland Restoration has specialized in all types of masonry repairs, concrete restoration, above and below grade waterproofing, snow removal, epoxy joint repair or replacement, and all types of floor coatings. Our mission is to serve you with over 35 years of experience, someone you can trust to do the job right the first time. If you have a project, big or small, please give us a call. Heartland Restoration, 314-993-6377.
Here at People's Bank and Trust, new technology improves our lives. We all know that, but when it comes to your money, wouldn't you just as soon deal with real people rather than recordings and electronics fingerprinting of the mega banks? We put technology to work so we can have more time for you. We're your community bank. People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Everybody knows that high school sports generate suspense, excitement, and drama.
They also generate higher grade point averages, stronger work habits, and greater self-esteem.
Everybody knows that high school sports give us more value for our entertainment dollar.
They also give us leaders committed to strengthening communities right here in Missouri. The true value of playing sports in school can't be measured in wins and losses or dollars and cents. Studies show that participation in sports, along with other extracurricular activities, is one of the best ways to teach leadership, cooperation, accountability, and other invaluable life skills. Don't just stand on the sidelines. Encourage the young people you know to get in the game. When you do, you'll be helping them get ahead in life. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Okay, we are back. As you can see on your screen, the Elsberry girls are back out on the court, continuing their warm-up. About a little over 6.5 minutes to go before they start this game. So let's go over the rosters here for the visiting Warrenton Lady Warriors. On the roster tonight is number 2, a senior, Lexi Frederick. Number 3, a sophomore, Garnisha Love. Number 4, a senior, Brooke Smith. Number 5, a sophomore, Dana Pruitt. Number 10, a freshman, Kendall Taylor. Number 11, a freshman, Zoe Klaus. Number 12, a freshman, Audrey Payne. Number 32, a junior, Cassidy Holler. Number 33, a junior, Malia Payne. Number 34, a sophomore, Joni Marshall. And number 54, a senior, Miranda Nelson. These Lady Warriors are coached by Greg Williams and assisted by Don Huff. And for your hometown Elsberry Lady Indians, on the roster tonight is number 2, Tanisha Henderson. Number 4, Peyton Robinson. Number 5, Addison Steele. Number 10, Candace Dowell. Number 11, Neosha Henderson. Number 12, Kylie Kinsler. Number 14, Abby Jenkins. Number 15, Mackenzie Gladney. Number 20, Kelsey Plaster. Number 24, Lily Smith. Number 25, Samara Manuel. Number 31, Bella Mawsey. Number 32, Olivia Kinsler. Number 41, Alyssa Love. And number 43, Tyra Henderson. We don't have a 45. Hopefully I don't say that later on. And let's see. Elsberry Lady Indians are coached by Carrie Koch Dowell and assisted by Brittany Koch Dowell. And one more thing. Let's just give a shout out here to the varsity cheerleaders. We have Isabel Bayless, Melody Hall, Gracie Mahurin, McKenna Mills, Tabitha Lynch, Jordan Sir, Maddie Burke, Abby Braden, and Mia Spurlock. And the cheerleading coaches are Carrie Braden and Faye Mays. So with a little over 4 minutes to go till this game starts, and here's the captains and the head coaches and the referees. They're down there shaking hands and telling each other how they're going to play good, and the referees are going to say how they're going to referee good, and the coaches are going to coach good, and either that or they're deciding where they're going to go for supper tonight. But let's get a couple more in here before the game starts.
These days, the concept of value matters more than ever. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a better value than high school sports. Extracurricular activities, including sports, make up about 2% of the budget for a typical Missouri high school. In return, participation in sports promotes citizenship and sportsmanship. Sports also instill a sense of community pride and teach lifelong lessons about cooperation and self-discipline. They encourage physical fitness. They produce community leaders. By offering so many benefits to the community for such a small percentage of a school's overall budget, it's easy to see why high school sports are one of the best bargains around. The real cost would come from not having them at all. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Are you familiar with or have you experienced water damage in your business or home? Even if the damage is small, repairs can be very costly, not to mention the unpleasant sight and smell of the damaged area. It's okay. Heartland Restoration is here to help. Give us a chance on your next project. Call 314-993-6377 today.
Ever wonder where your hard-earned money goes when you deposit it? It stays here, at home, to help make living here what we've all come to expect. We've got everything the mega banks do, but we've made a commitment to our community. So when you're looking for the right bank, see People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. You know, the people pulling the strings are usually hard to reach in today's mega bank world, but here at People's Bank and Trust, you deal with the decision maker at our community bank, which is what good banking relationships are all about. We all live and work right here. With us, you pull the strings. We're People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Okay, we are back. And I would say with that buzzer, we are getting ready now to have the national anthem and the opening announcements. And as you can see, Warrenton's they're getting all gussied up. But I'm sure at this point we're getting ready for the national anthem. And that's what we are doing, so we'll take a break while the national anthem plays. Okay, there was the national anthem. Took them a little while to find it on the recording, but they finally did. So now I'm sure we're going to have the starting lineup for the both teams, probably starting off with the Warrenton Lady Warriors.
Let's wish both students with both schools good luck and encourage all spectators at tonight's game to keep in mind that good sportsmanship is expected.
Right now they're giving some announcements for Misha, sportsmanship type things. And that's always the most important thing. Okay, starting tonight for the Warrenton Lady Warriors. Number 2, Lexi Frederick. Number 4, Brooke Smith. Number 12, Audrey Payne. Number 33, Malia Payne. And number 54, Miranda Nelson. And now the starting lineup for your Elsberry Lady Indians. Number 2, Tanisha Henderson, otherwise known as Tiny. Number 4, Peyton Robinson. Number 12, Kylie Kinsler. Kelsey Flaster, number 20. And number 43, Tyra Henderson. That's the starting lineups for both teams out there. So We are getting ready to start this game now. Warrenton is out on the floor already, out on the court, whatever you want to call it out there, out on the hardwood. And I'm sitting here amongst the Warrenton fans. I will say Warrenton has brought quite a few people. And it's going to be Peyton Robinson jumping. She's going to be jumping against Malia Payne. There's the jump, and the ball starts off with Warrenton. They try to drive in, and it's stolen immediately by Tyra Henderson, and she brings it up the court. And she just turns around, gives it to Tanisha Henderson, and she takes a three-pointer, and it does not drop. Quickly down the court is number 4, Brooke Smith. She takes it in and is fouled. And that foul is on Tyra Henderson. So less than 30 seconds into the game, and Tyra Henderson has one foul. First shot is good for Brooke Smith. She gets a second shot. Second shot is good. Warrenton strikes first, 2-0. So here's Tiny bringing it up. Just a little bit of pressure from Lexi Frederick. And that ball stolen away, and quickly going in was Brooke Smith, but she missed the layup. Back down the court is Tanisha Henderson, gets it over to Kelsey Flaster, and she gets it over to Peyton Robinson. She drives the baseline and draws a foul right underneath the basket. That foul was on the floor, so it's not going to be a shooting foul. That foul was on Brooke Smith. Okay, Kylie Kinsler to take it out. Gets the ball into Tyra Henderson, and she had a heck of a time getting it away, but she powered her way to that ball. Cross court to Kelsey Flaster, and then back out on the point to Tiny. Warrenton is really guarding closely, and Tanisha tried to get the ball up and couldn't do it. And that was the number 4, Brooke Smith, tried to take it the length of the court, and she ended up with a double dribble. Warrenton is really having some defense on this game. 2-0. Warrenton early in this game. There's Tiny Henderson, tried to take a 10-footer, and the shot was blocked, and it's knocked out of bounds and last touched by Elsberry. So the turnover to Warrenton. Lexi Frederick bringing it up the court. They got it on the outside to Malia Payne. Keeping it out on the perimeter. Now they drive in. That was Brooke Smith again that drove in. And she was fouled on the floor. And that foul was on Mackenzie Gladney. Get the ball into Malia Payne. She takes it back out to the perimeter. And there was a little trick pass right there that fooled everybody, including her own team. So turnover to Elsberry. Warrenton is really moving this ball sharply. Elsberry's going to need to do some adjusting on their offensive end. They can't seem to get the ball in at all. So Tiny brings it up the court. Gets it over to Kylie Kinsler. She's running it around the outside. And timeout called by Elsberry. Take a quick break.
People's Bank and Trust knows that every minute of your day counts, so it's good to have a few time savers on your side. Take internet banking, for example. It allows you to bank from home rather than having to make an extra trip to the bank just to check your balance, transfer funds, or view recent transactions. You can even pay your bills online, eliminating a trip to the post office for stamps. Best of all, People's Bank and Trust offers all of this free of charge. Visit us online at www.pbtc.net and sign up today. Just another example of hometown banking the way it should be. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, Kylie Kinsler gets it in to Tanisha Henderson. She has it out on the point, gets it over to Kelsey Flaster on the high post. Tried to pass it into Mackenzie Gladney right under the basket, and the ball went through her hands and out of bounds. So Warrenton's ball coming up the court. And there's a quick pass over to Brooke Smith, and she was right underneath for 2 points. So here's Tyra has the ball. And I believe she was fouled. There was a tussle for the ball. And that foul is on Brooke Smith. That's her second. Still 5:24 remaining in the first quarter. And they quickly bring her out of the game. They get the ball in to Tanisha. And she's called for a double dribble. Elsberry's having a little bit of trouble here getting their game started. They're not looking too confident out there right now. Ball back out at a three-point line to, who is that, number 12? That's Audrey Payne. She missed her three-point shot. And the ball put up for a shot, and no good. That was Cassidy Haller. So with a score of 4-0, Kelsey Flaster with the ball, trying to drive the baseline. She gets the ball into Tiny, and she tried to drive in for a layup and drew the foul. That, I believe, is going to be a shooting foul. That foul was on Cassidy Haller. That's her first. So here's Tiny Henderson to the line with 2 free throws and misses the first one. Still no score for Elsberry. 4:44 remaining in the first quarter. 4-0 Warrenton. And she missed her second one. And that ball was out of bounds off of. That ball was out of bounds. All right, now they're having some discussion on whose ball it is. It's a white ball. All right, so Tyra's out of bounds to get the ball thrown in. She gets it into Kelsey. Now here's Tiny, gets the ball to Tyra, and she misses completely. Mackenzie Gladney with the rebound, and she what did happen there? Not really sure, but either way, it's Warrenton's ball. They have it out on the perimeter, and there's Mackenzie Gladney to break it up. And Tiny got in there, fought for the ball, and was able to get a jump ball. And so on alternating possessions, that goes over to Elsberry. But once again, Lady Warriors are going to need to get things together here. That ball was almost stolen, and that Tanisha Henderson lost control of the ball and went over to Warrenton. And there's another 2 points there for Miranda Nelson. So 6-0, Warrenton. Kylie Kinsler has the ball, tries to drive the baseline, and it's not there. Tries to pass back to Tyra Henderson, and the ball was knocked out of bounds. Stays with Elsberry. She gets it into Tanisha Henderson. That ball was knocked out of bounds, and the pass was deflected by Warrenton. Kylie Kinsler tried to get it and was the last one to touch it. So over to Warrenton again. Warrenton is completely controlling this game. They have the ball out on the perimeter now. And there's a travel by Ganesha Love. So turnover to Elsberry. And here's Tanisha Henderson bringing it up the court. And she is tripped and fouled by number 2, Lexi Frederick. That's a first foul on Frederick. All right, the bad throw-in pass, and Warrenton steals it. And there was a travel on Dana Pruitt. She tried to decide whether she wanted to shoot it or not from the three-point line, and while she was trying to decide, her feet took off. .312 remaining in the first quarter, 6-0 Warrenton. And Warrenton is going after every one of these passes, and they are breaking up every one of these passes. And they're saying that ball was out of bounds on Elsberry, so it's Warrenton's ball. They're just able to pass this ball around, and Elsberry can't do anything about it. See, just like that pass right there, long two-point shot, and Peyton Robinson up with the rebound. And she gets the ball across to Tiny Henderson. Kylie Kinsler tried to drive in. Tyra does drive in, and the pass is just slapped away. Not pass, I mean the shot just passed away. There's a 15-footer for Peyton Robinson, and she's in with 2 points. Quickly down the court for Warrenton. And there was Malia Payne tried to drive in. She was trying to draw a foul and ended up traveling. She ended up tripping and got called for a travel. So with 2:05 remaining in the first quarter, the score is 6-2 Warrenton. And here's Kylie Kinsler she was looking at the baseline, trying to find a way up through there, but there's just no openings whatsoever. There's Peyton Robinson looking around. And once more, I think these young ladies are just kind of shook up right now. This is by far the best team that they've played this year. And they're just breaking everything up. There's a long pass over that. Now, there was Tyra Henderson stole it, and she's taking it in and could not get the shot. And In the ensuing rebounds and tried for rebounds, the ball went down the court, and Tanisha Henderson was the last one to touch it, and so it goes out of bounds to Warrenton. And there's a quick 2 points there for Cassidy Haller. Peyton Robinson bringing it up the court. Bad pass into the middle, and just a layup attempt, only she passed it back, trying to be unselfish, and she should have just gone on up with it. So see what the call is here. All right, that was an offensive foul there. That call was on Dana Pruitt. That's her first. So now we have Candace Dowell in the game for the Lady Warriors. She gets the ball over to Kylie Kinsler. And they're all having trouble just dribbling the ball. And bad pass right there. Couldn't handle it. And Lexi Frederick brought it down the court, tried a layup, and could not get it, but she did draw the foul. So here's a two-shot foul coming up to Lexi Frederick with the score 8-2, 31.1 seconds remaining in the first quarter. First shot is up, and it's no good. Second shot is up, and it is good. So 9-2 is the score. And here's Candace Dowell bringing it up the court. She drives around, saw there was not an open door to take it in. Now she tries again, holds it up, gets it over to Olivia Kinsler. They're at 12 seconds remaining in the quarter, and they need to get the ball in. Get it to Tyra Henderson. She throws the ball up, and it was not there. But she did draw the foul. That foul is on Malia Payne. That's her first. So Tyra Henderson on the line now with 2 shots. First one up and no good. Second shot, and it is good. There's Warrenton quickly up the court, and she's called for a double dribble. So turnover with 2.7 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Score is 9-3, Warrenton. Candace Smith takes a long shot, and it hit the inside of the rim. But either way, with 8 minutes now to start the second quarter, the score is 9-3, Warrenton over Elsberry Lady Indians. Let's take a break.
Fans, when you attend a high school game, do you stand at attention during the national anthem? Do you cheer a good play by the opposing team? If your team loses, do you take it well in stride? If you have answered yes to any of those questions, you are showing positive examples of sportsmanship. Don't forget that when you attend high school events, young eyes are watching you for examples of acceptable behavior. By making a conscientious effort, you'll be helping our students grow into better citizens. This message has been brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and this local radio station.
Hey, hon, what are you doing up so early?
Oh,
I'm just getting ready to take care of some stuff with the bank.
The bank? I surely hope you're going to get dressed first. You'd get some pretty weird luck showing up in your robe and fuzzy slippers.
I'm not going to the bank. I'm doing it all right here from home using People's Bank and Trust online banking and bill pay service. I can check our account balances, transfer money, make a loan payment, and even pay bills, all from the comfort of my pajamas. Best of all, it's free.
Banking in your pajamas. Now, if we could only get the grocery store to deliver.
Start banking online today by visiting us online at www.pbtc.net. People's Bank and Trust. Hometown banking the way it should be. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Okay, Warrenton's ball to start this second quarter, and they have it out on the perimeter now, passing it around, and once again, where Elsberry's normally able to stop those passes, they're not able to do it this time. Three-point shot was no good. The ball is put up right underneath, and that was Audrey Payne with 2 shots. Tyra Henderson trying to drive underneath. It's the ball out to Olivia Kinsler. And now Candace Dowell has it out on the point. High post for Kelsey Plaster. See what this call is going to be. They got the ball underneath to Tyra Henderson, and she tried to drive. And see who that foul was on. That was on number 54, Miranda Nelson. That's her first. So Elsberry's in the bonus now. They're in the 1-and-1 bonus. So Tyra Henderson's on the line with 1-and-1. The ball was off the front of the rim, no good. So here's Warrenton back down the court. Handling the ball quite well. As soon as I say that, that was Audrey Payne called for a travel. Kelsey Plaster gets the ball into Candace Dowell. She's got it out on the point. There's just nobody to drive it into. They just can't handle the ball tonight, it seems like. There's a quickly underneath to Kelsey Plaster, and she puts the ball up. Shot is no good, but she does draw the foul. That foul is on number 33, Malia Payne. It's her second. First shot for Kelsey Plaster is good. It's a score 11-4. Second shot is good. 11-5. Warrenton again quickly up the court. Brings it up and no good, and Candace Dowell with the rebound. Tiny Henderson over on the high point. Go back to Candace Dowell. Somebody better get back over there to her. Yeah. And everybody for Elsberry was down on the floor. So the result of that play is Elsberry's ball. That pass in was knocked away. And here's a layup up and in. That was number 33, Malia Payne. Ball knocked out of bounds. Ball, they're saying the ball was knocked out of bounds by Elsberry, so Warrenton's ball. they have it out on the perimeter, but so far they've been able to drive in anytime they've wanted to tonight. I thought she was going to take a three. Instead, she drives in. That's number 4. That was Brooke Smith. Missed on that shot. And that pass was over to Peyton Robinson, and she couldn't handle it. So 5:07 remaining in the first half. Scores 13-5. Warrenton over Elsberry. Warrenton passing it around. They pass it out to the perimeter. And there was a travel for Lexi Frederick. So this is just almost pathetic to watch right now. Elsberry just couldn't hold on to the pass, and it went out of bounds. Warrenton's ball. There's a three-point shot. No good. Another shot put up by Miranda Nelson from right underneath, and the shot was no good, but she does draw the foul. First shot is good. Second shot bounces out. And the ball was knocked out of bounds by Warrenton. Okay, here's Tanisha Henderson bringing it up the court. And before Tanisha Henderson misplayed the ball as she was driving in, and they called her for kicking the ball. And so turnover to Warrenton. How many times have I said that tonight? And there, finally, Kylie Kinsler does what she does best and knocked that pass out of the way. It took her to the second quarter before she was able to do that. These Warrenton girls, their passing is incredible. There was shot from right underneath, would not drop. And Tyra Henderson came up with the rebound and drew a foul off of, I believe, number 3, Ganesha Love. Nope, they're calling the foul on, see who they're calling it on. Yeah, it was number 3, Ganesha Love. That was her first foul of the night. So we have Tyra Henderson on the line tonight. She's 1 for 3 from the free throw line. First shot is up, and it rims out. And a lot of fighting for the ball there. Came up with a jump ball, and on alternating possessions, it goes over to Warrenton. So Warrenton, they always have some open players. They get the ball in deep. That was into Cassidy Haller. She missed the shot, but she drew the foul. Warrenton is doing a tremendous job of getting that ball in under the basket. And that foul is on Peyton Robinson. And that's her third. So foul trouble here for Peyton Robinson. Cassidy Haller missed her first free throw. Second one is up, and it's no good. The rebound was to Olivia Kinsler, but it was knocked out of her hands. So just a little half-court pressure here from Warrenton now. Tanisha Henderson gets it across the line, and she is tripped. And that foul is on Lexi Frederick, and that's her second. So now Tiny's at the line with a 1-and-1. No, she's with 2 shots. First one is up and no good. She's 0 for 3 tonight on her free throws. Second shot is up and no good. Warrenton with the rebound. They get the ball in, and I believe they're going to call that a travel, yes. She took about 3 steps. So, dare I say, turnover to Elsberry. 3:18 remaining in the first half. Kylie Kinsler with the ball running around the point. Now Tyra takes it in, gets the shot away, and she is fouled. That foul is on 32, Cassidy Haller, and that's her second foul. So Tyra is 1 for 4 from the free throw line tonight. First shot is up and bounces off the front of the rim. No good. Second shot is up, and it is good. So Warrenton quickly down the court. They don't waste any time coming down the court. And there was an offensive foul called. She drove in there. That was Brooke Smith. I don't know if that, they're saying 3 fouls on her. I guess that's right. I didn't know if that was 3 or 4. So Tyra Henderson with the ball trying to go underneath. Tanisha Henderson with a shot. Ball just will not drop in. Okay, so Tanisha brings it back to set it up. And they almost broke up that shot. Kelsey Flaster has it now on the outside. Back out to Tanisha Henderson on the point. She drives in, gets the ball over to Olivia Kinsler. Tried to get it into Kelsey Flaster. And couldn't get it. Warrenton steals the ball, takes it the length of the court, but they're not able to get a shot away. So Warrenton has it out of bounds under the basket. They have it right there to Malia Payne for another 2 points. Another pass right through the hands of Kelsey Flaster. Turnover to Warrenton, and Warrenton calls a timeout. So with 2:02 remaining in this first half, the score is now Warrenton 16 and Elsberry 6.
The score of any athletic event is generally forgotten over time, but the actions of players, coaches, and spectators leave lasting impressions. The next time you attend a high school game, Think of how history will remember you. Choose good sportsmanship and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. Remember, the lessons you teach today will help develop better citizens in our communities for tomorrow. This message has been brought to you by your friends at the Missouri State High School Activities Association and this local radio station.
All right, we are back. 2:02 remaining in the half. 16-6. This has not been a pretty game for Elsberry. Absolutely not pretty at all. Warrenton brings it up the court. That's the slowest they've brought it up the court the entire game. And there Kylie Kinsler gets in front of that one. You need to be able to do that more often because Warrenton's breaking up. They're breaking up all the passes that Elsberry isn't fumbling. So they get the ball down on the low point, and they throw that pass away. And there's an over and back against Warrenton. 1:38 remaining in the first half. Ball's going to be out of bounds to Elsberry. Kinsler over to take it out of bounds. They get the ball into Kelsey Plaster. She brings it across, gets it out on the point to Tiny Henderson. Tyra has the ball now as she tries to drive in, and they just can't get it in. Olivia Kinsler fumbled around with the ball. Now here's Tyra trying to drive in, throws the ball up, and it's good. That's only the second field goal for the Lady Indians tonight. Warrenton with the ball out on the point, and Kelsey Plaster steals that ball. All right, so Tiny has the ball. Less than a minute to go in the first half. And I believe that's going to be a foul on Miranda Nelson, reaching over the back. And that's her second foul, and that puts Tyra Henderson on the line for 2 shots. First shot is up and no good. Second shot. It is good. .45 seconds remaining in the first half. Warrenton bringing the ball down the court. And they're just playing for the last shot here. Keeping it out on the perimeter till they decide they want to take it in. And Tyra Henderson with that steal. And that puts her on the line again with 14.3 seconds. First shot is up. Rims out. Second shot is up, and it rolls in. 14.3 seconds remaining in the first half. Warrenton's ball. And Warrenton has it on the perimeter. They're out 30 feet away. And that is the end of the first half. And once again, not a pretty half for Elsberry. Warrenton, they had their passes were a lot crisper. Although I will say that later on in the second quarter, Elsberry was starting to respond to their passing and was getting in front of a few of them. But early in the game, they couldn't do it at all. But biggest problem, and I think it has a lot to do with the height. Elsberry's not able to drive in underneath, especially like they were compared to the other night playing against Christian, where they just did that all night, driving in under the basket, and they were not able to penetrate tonight. Whereas Warrenton can. They're getting that ball in there underneath, and most of their 16 points have come from underneath. He's going over a little of it. In the first half, Peyton Robinson has 2 points. Kelsey Flaster has 2 points. And Tyra Henderson has 1, 2, 3, 4. She has 6 points. So that makes the 10 points for Elsberry. On the other side, we have Lexi Frederick with 1 point. Brooke Smith with 4 points. Audrey Payne with 2 points. Cassidy Holler with 2 points. Malaya Payne with 4 points. And Miranda Nelson with 3 points. And that makes up the difference, the 16 to 10. To be perfectly honest, I'm really surprised the score there's only a 6-point difference in the game. Warrenton has just completely outplayed Elsberry in this first half of the game. So we'll just see what happens in the rest of this game. There's still 16 more minutes to play. But in the meantime, let's take a break for halftime.
You're listening to the Indian Sports Network, courtesy of the Elsberry Democrat. Log on to www.elsberrydemocrat.com today.
Tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, but it's also an educational experience for the students involved. Because high school activities are about learning life values, your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association remind everyone to do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience for everyone. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson, and you'll be preserving a proud tradition in the state of Missouri.
People's Bank and Trust invites everyone to come to the game, the high school sports games that are going on right now. All area teams have put a great amount of effort and time in to perfect their skills, and they are ready to play. Support the community schools and students by cheering them on to a great season of games. People's Bank and Trust proudly supports the area teams and looks forward to seeing you at each and every game.
Whether it's balls and strikes, fouls, or flags, your referees and game officials are a vital part of high school athletics. If you've ever tried your hand at officiating, you know how hard these men and women work, and you certainly know that they would never miss a call intentionally. Keep these things in mind as you attend sporting events. After all, respecting officials and authority figures is one of the most valuable lessons that we could teach our students. This message has been brought to you by your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association.
You know, the people pulling the strings are usually hard to reach in today's mega bank world, but here at People's Bank and Trust, you deal with the decision maker. At our community bank, which is what good banking relationships are all about, we all live and work right here. With us, you pull the strings. We're People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
At Elsberry Pharmacy and Medicine Shop in Troy, we know what a pharmacy is meant to be. We take the time to know you and your healthcare needs. Most prescriptions are filled in 15 minutes or less, and we offer free local delivery and a friendly and knowledgeable staff to answer your questions. Better service, better value, better healthcare. Locally owned and operated and proud to be your local independent pharmacies in Elsberry and Troy. Visit us online at medicineshoprx.com. At Elsberry Pharmacy and Medicine Shop in Troy, We know what a pharmacy is meant to be. We have numerous programs to help your wallet as well as save precious time. Save money with our RX Savings Club program, and you can save time with our medication synchronization program, where we fill your prescriptions at the same time each month. We also offer our medication adherence program to help you remember to take your medications on time as prescribed by your doctor. Better value, better service, better health care. Locally owned and operated, and proud to be your local independent pharmacy in Elsberry and Troy. Visit us online at medicineshoprx.com. Hi, my name is Jerry Callahan, pharmacist and owner of the medicine shops in Troy and Elsberry Pharmacy. We strive every day to bring better service, better value, and better health care to our friends in our communities. We want to say thank you for your support, and we're proud to be your local independent pharmacies in Elsberry and Troy. Visit us online at medicineshoprx.com.
Since 1995, Heartland Restoration has specialized in all types of masonry repairs, concrete restoration, above and below grade waterproofing, snow removal, epoxy joint repair or replacement, and all types of floor coatings. Our mission is to serve you with over 35 years of experience, someone you can trust to do the job right the first time. If you have a project, big or small, please give us a call. Heartland Restoration, 314-993-6377.
Here at People's Bank and Trust, new technology improves our lives. We all know that. But when it comes to your money, wouldn't you just as soon deal with real people rather than recordings and electronics fingerprinting of the mega banks? We put technology to work so we can have more time for you. We're your community bank. People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Everybody knows that high school sports generate suspense, excitement, and drama.
They also generate higher grade point averages, stronger work habits, and greater self-esteem.
Everybody knows that high school sports give us more value for our entertainment dollar.
They also give us leaders committed to strengthening communities right here in Missouri. The true value of playing sports in school can't be measured in wins and losses or dollars and cents. Studies show that participation in sports, along with other extracurricular activities, is one of the best ways to teach leadership, cooperation, accountability, and other invaluable life skills. Don't just stand on the sidelines. Encourage the young people you know to get in the game. When you do, you'll be helping them get ahead in life. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. These days, the concept of value matters more than ever, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a better value than high school sports. Extracurricular activities, including sports, make up about 2% of the budget for a typical Missouri high school. In return, participation in sports promotes citizenship and sportsmanship. Sports also instill a sense of community pride and teach lifelong lessons about cooperation and self-discipline. They encourage physical fitness. They produce community leaders. By offering so many benefits to the community for such a small percentage of a school's overall budget, it's easy to see why high school sports are one of the best bargains around. The real cost would come from not having them at all. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Missouri State High School Activities Association and the Missouri Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Are you familiar with or have you experienced water damage in your business?
Okay, we are back. Start the second half of this game. A game that has not been pretty for Elsberry. Ball underneath to Tiny Henderson, and she absolutely could not get that ball to drop. And it's out of bounds against Elsberry. And Warrenton with the ball, bring it up the court. Warrenton with the ball on the outside. And once again, they get it underneath, throws it back out. There's a three-point shot for Lexi Frederick, no good. And the ball stolen by Frederick, layup, and that one is good. Turnover after turnover after turnover. There's Tyra Henderson going in. And she couldn't get a shot, but she did draw a foul. That foul is on Malia Payne. That is her third foul for the night. So Warrenton has a couple of players with 3 fouls. First shot for Tyra is good. Second shot is up, rims off the front, and there's a scramble for the rebound. And jump ball is called, and it goes alternating possessions over to Warrenton. All right, Warrenton has it. They keep it on the outside a lot until they're just ready to go in. It was a high pass, but she was able to recover. There was some fouls in there, but nothing was called. But either way, it goes out of bounds to Elsberry. Tiny bringing it up the court. She gets it across the timeline, gets it into Tyra. And she tried to drive in. Here's a three-point shot for Kelsey Flaster, and it's no good. And see what they're going to call here. All right, Kelsey Kinsler. Just looking at her right now, I don't think I want to cross her. That was a foul on Malia Payne, and that's her 4th foul. Kinsler was really fighting for that ball. And there's Kinsler going in. She passed back to Tyra Henderson, and she was fouled. That was on the floor. As he has Audrey Payne. That's her first foul of the night. And she gets the ball in, and Tiny Henderson grabbed the ball and took a little stutter step before she put the ball on the floor. She was called for traveling. Warrenton's ball, 6:01 remaining in the third quarter, 18-11. Again, crisp passing for Warrenton. And there was Brooke Smith underneath. She was all alone at first. Kelsey Flaster got in there and was able to draw. Now, Brooke Smith drew the foul on Kelsey Flaster, but the shot was no good. So here's Brooke Smith up with a free throw, and it's good. She's perfect from the line tonight, 3 for 3. Ready for her second shot. And no good. And there was a rebound attempt by Garnisha Love, and she was over the back, so a foul on her. That's her third foul. There's a number of Warrenton players with 3 fouls and one with 4. So here's Tanisha Henderson bringing it up the court, gets across the point line, and fumbles the ball around and gave it up to Warrenton, and then was called for the foul. So Lexi Frederick with the ball on the outside. Cross-court pass to Audrey Payne. Here's a 3-point attempt. No good. And that ball was out of bounds off of Warrenton player. I could see it from here, but they called it off of Elsberry. So anyway, Warrenton out of bounds underneath their own basket. Out on the point. That's Brooke Smith with it out on the point. You get the ball in deep and stolen away by Tyra Henderson. And then that pass to Tiny Henderson was stolen. It was stolen by Brooke Smith. And now Tiny Henderson fouled her on her way up. So it's going to be 2 shots for Brooke Smith. First shot, no good. She's 3 for 5 right now from the 3-point line. Next shot is no good, and foul called on Warrenton. Over the back foul. That foul was on Cassidy Haller. It's her second. So Tyra Henderson with the ball out of bounds. Peyton Robinson's back in with 3 fouls. Get the call to Candace Dow. Ball back out to Tyra Henderson. And she takes a long 3-pointer, and the shot was no good. Warrenton with the rebound, and they're bringing it down the court. There's a 3-point attempt, and it is good. Garnisha Love with 3 points. Makes the score 22-11. Candace Dow gets it over to Kylie Kinsler. She puts it up and cannot get it to drop. She does draw the foul, though. But when Elsberry's getting the ball in, they just can't get the ball to drop. They're just throwing it up there instead of shooting. But Kylie Kinsler at the line now. First shot is no good. This is her first time at the line tonight. Second shot is good. .404 remaining in the third quarter. 22-12 is the score. Warrenton over Elsberry. And we have a timeout called.
Are you familiar with or have you experienced water damage in your business or home? Even if the damage is small, repairs can be very costly, not to mention the unpleasant sight and smell of the damaged area. It's okay. Heartland Restoration is here to help. Give us a chance on your next project. Call 314-993-6377 today.
All right, here we are back in the third quarter. 4:04 remaining in this third quarter. And score is 22-12. Warrenton's ball out of bounds. They have the length of the court to go. No pressure at all by Elsberry. And there's Lexi Frederick, just drove right in unopposed with 2 points. Candace Dow brings it up the court. Gets it over to Tyra. The long pass over to Kelsey. There's a long shot. Bounces in and out for a three-point attempt. Garnisha Love dribbling it around. Warrenton is so good on the outside. They get the ball in deep. Miranda Nelson up with the shot, and it's no good, but she does draw the foul. And that foul is on Mackenzie Gladney. It's her third of the game. And Miranda Nelson's first shot is good. She's 2 for 2 tonight from the free throw line. Second shot is good, 3 for 3. All right, Tiny Henderson bringing it up. She's bringing it up fast now. Gets the ball over to Candace Dow. There with 2 points. All right, Tyra Henderson drove in strong that time from right underneath, and she draws a foul and gets the 2 points. So she's at the line with 1 free throw, and that foul was on Audrey Payne. It's her second. And Tyra Henderson was really trying for that ball, but they called it out of bounds on Elsberry, so it goes over to Warrenton. 28-14, 14-point deficit for Elsberry. Ball knocked out of the air by Candace Dow. But it went out of bounds to Warrenton. Lexi Frederick picks up her dribble. Peyton Robinson broke that up, but couldn't maintain control of it, and Warrenton maintained control. That foul was on the floor. That foul was on Tyra Henderson, her second. And Tyra knocked that pass in. She knocked it out of bounds, broke that up. Elsberry's being a little more aggressive now. And they get the ball out onto the point. Three-point attempt, and it's good. That was Brooke Smith with 3 points. Three-point attempt by Peyton Robinson, and it's good. So they're trading three-pointers here. Another three-point attempt. No good. Rebounded by Warrenton. Puts the ball up. Another rebound by Warrenton. And Peyton Robinson brings the ball down the court. Gets it back out to Tanisha. Candace Dow with a long two-pointer, and it's good. And the shot is good, and she draws a foul. Score is 31-19 with 1:27 remaining in the third quarter, and Candace Dowell at the line for one shot. Shot is up, and it's good. One and a half minutes remaining. Warrenton on the outside. Now they get it in deep. Oh, and she just walked. Oh, there. She just walked right in, but literally walked. She was called for traveling. Candace Dowell bringing it up the court. A little over a minute. Gets the ball on the free throw line to Tyra Henderson. Out to Candace Dowell. Out to Kylie Kinsler. Now Dowell has it again. Kelsey Plaster gets the ball in. There they had the ball into Mackenzie Gladney, but she had to go back out again. And three-point missed and rebounded. Rebounded by Kelsey Plaster. And as Candace Dowell was bringing it around, she drew a foul. Actually, I guess it was Kelsey Plaster that was fouled. And she's on the line for a 1-and-1, 9 team fouls. That's 4 fouls on Brooke Smith. And the free throw is good. So now there's a second shot. Second shot is up and good. Warrenton brings it up. 28 seconds remaining. Coach just called for just one shot. So Elsberry's starting to be quite a bit more aggressive right now. And Warrenton double dribbled right there. Yeah, all 3 referees called that one. So 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And Elsberry's got to go 3/4 of the length. Candace Dowell gets it over to Kelsey Plaster. She takes a 3-point shot, and it does not fall in. Tyra gets the ball back up again, but its shot is no good. So at the end of 3/4, the score is Warrenton 31 and Elsberry 22.
Ever wonder where your hard-earned money goes when you deposit it? It stays here, at home, to help make living here what we've all come to expect. We've got everything the mega banks do, but we've made a commitment to our community. So when you're looking for the right bank, see People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. You know, the people pulling the strings are usually hard to reach in today's mega bank world, but here at People's Bank and Trust, you deal with the decision maker at our community bank, which is what good banking relationships are all about. We all live and work right here. With us, you pull the strings. We're People's Bank and Trust. Troy, Hawk Point, Winfield, O'Fallon, Elsberry, and Bowling Green. Financial security right here at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
All right, we start the fourth quarter of this ball game. Elsberry with the ball. Candace Dowell has it, gets it across the timeline. Score is 31-22, 9-point deficit for Elsberry. Peyton Robinson drives the line and passes along the baseline, and it's out of bounds against Warrenton. It hit off of their foot. Kelsey Plaster to throw the ball in, gets it into Tyra Henderson. And there's a foul on number 4, Brooke Smith, and I believe that's her fifth foul of the game. It is. So with 7:44 remaining in the fourth quarter, Brooke Smith, one of their main players, is fouled out of this ball game. That puts Tyra on the line. First shot is up and rolls in. 31-23. Second shot bounces out. Tyra puts it back up again for 2 more points. Warrenton brings it up fast. Elsberry within 6. Passing the ball out on the perimeter. Cross-court pass. Now they're finally driving in, and that foul is on Lexi Frederick. She put her shoulder down and ran into Kelsey Flaster, and a foul was on her. And that's her 4th foul of this game. So Warrenton has 1 fouled out and a couple of players with 4 fouls. And what's amazing to me is they don't need to be like that. They don't need to have all those fouls. Peyton Robinson, and she got away with a double dribble there. So now Candace Dowell gets it over to Kelsey Flaster, and then Kelsey Flaster was called for the double dribble that time. You're not going to get by with it 2 times in a row. So Warrenton with the ball. Lexi Frederick brings it up the court. Tyra Henderson with that steal. Gives it to Candace Dowell, and they bring it down the court. Pass it around a little bit on the perimeter. They're still having trouble getting inside, though. That's what they need to do, is get inside. There's a shot by Kylie Kinsler, and it's good. 31-27. And Elsberry crowd is getting wound up here. And there's a steal by Kylie Kinsler. And in stealing it, she traveled. But the thing is, Elsberry is definitely showing some aggression now. 5:51 remaining in this ball game in regulation, and the score is 31-27. After all of Elsberry not playing any good at all in the first half, they've dropped this now to a 4-point deficit, and the crowd is getting a little more wound up. We just need to see some controlled aggression by the Lady Indians. Not just aggression. Aggression gets you fouls. Controlled aggression wins games. So again, 5:51, all kinds of time left in this game. And Lexi Frederick is playing with 4 fouls. Seems like there's somebody else that's going to be. Malia Payne, I believe, has 4 fouls. Maybe it's Miranda Nelson. Maybe both. I'm not keeping track of the fouls. I look up at the scoreboard for when there is a foul. Maybe I'll find a way to be able to keep track of the fouls too. Either way, it's Warrenton's ball. And that ball was stolen by Kylie Kinsler that time. She maintained control of it. Candace Dowell with it out on the point. Gets it over to Kelsey Flaster, gets it to Kylie Kinsler down on the baseline. Cross-court pass, right into the hands of Warrenton. That was Lexi Frederick took it in for a layup and couldn't get the shot to drop, but she did draw the foul. Foul's on Kelsey Flaster, her second. I still believe Peyton Robinson is the only player out there for Elsberry with 3 fouls. First shot is up and good for Lexi Frederick. 5-point lead, 32-27. Second free throw was no good, and we've got a jump ball now. And that ball is staying with Warrenton. Kylie Kinzer jumps in front of that one. And she was called for traveling. I don't know how, but she was called for traveling. But either way, that's what they called. And so Warrenton has the ball out in the perimeter, passing it around. And now they take the ball in. Wow. Now there was a desperation shot right there, but she got it. That was Granisha Love for 2 points. There's a 3-point shot for Candace Dowell. And it was no good, but there was a foul called. Foul called on Warrenton. And the Warrenton fans are really upset. That foul is on Cassidy Haller, and that's her 4th foul. Puts Mackenzie Gladney on the line for 2 shots. First shot is up and good. (34-28). Second shot is up and no good, and Warrenton with the rebound. And there's Love with another shot from underneath. Don't particularly like her style of shooting, but the ball's going in, so that's what counts. There's a 3-pointer for Tyra Henderson, no good. Scramble for the ball, and Warrenton comes up with it. And the ball was knocked around. Ball was knocked around by everybody, and it came up to Warrenton. And I believe that's going to be another foul on Peyton Robinson. I believe that's her 4th. It is. So 4 fouls on Peyton Robinson. That puts Audrey Payne at the line. She's there for a 1-and-1. First shot is up and good. Second shot's no good and rebounded by Warrenton, and shot up and no good, and Tyra Henderson's bringing it up the court. 9-point lead for Warrenton. 4 minutes remaining in this game. Candace Dowell has it out on the point. She gets it over to Peyton Robinson out on the baseline to Kylie Kinsler. She's going to try to drive the baseline. Takes it over to Mackenzie Gladney. A 3-point shot for Candace Dowell, and it's good. So Warrenton with the ball now. Love looked at a 3-pointer and decided against it. And Warrenton drove towards the basket. Couldn't get a shot in, but they did draw the foul. And that foul is on Tyra Henderson. That's her third. And a timeout is called on the floor. Let's take a break.
Tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, but it's also an educational experience for the students involved. Because high school activities are about learning life values, your friends at this local radio station and the Missouri State High School Activities Association remind everyone to do their part in keeping our hometown sports a positive experience for everyone. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson, and you'll be preserving a proud tradition in the state of Missouri.
All right. 3:20 remaining in this ball game. Score is 37-31 in favor of the Warrenton Lady Warriors over the Elsberry Lady Indians. Story of this game for Elsberry has been horrible passing, just not being able to control the ball at all. And for Warrenton, their big downfall has been fouls. They have committed way too many fouls. They have one player fouled out right now. And I believe it's Brooke Smith is fouled out. She's one of their best players. And they have 2 or 3 other players with 4 fouls. But on the line right now is Malia Payne for 2 shots, and the first one is good. Back to a 7-point lead for Warrenton. Second shot is no good. And the rebound was knocked out of bounds by Warrenton. So Elsberry with the ball. Sorry I didn't have the camera over there. Didn't miss much. All right. Bad pass stolen by Warrenton. Ball's thrown up by Lexi Frederick, and for 2 points. Candace Dow with the ball out on the perimeter. She takes it in, gives it back out on the point to Tiny Henderson. They just sort of like playing pitch and catch out there. Kylie Kinsler with it, gets it back out on the point. And there's a long 2-pointer for Tyra Henderson, no good. And Warrenton up with the rebound, and there's a fast break right there. 2 more points for Love. Back to an 11-point lead for Warrenton. And there was a long shot for Tiny Henderson, no good. So Warrenton with the ball now, bring it down to court. 2:10 remaining in this ball game. 42-31, 11-point lead for Warrenton. Elsberry was threatening for a while, but they have not been able to keep it up. And there's a pass right underneath to number 54, Miranda Nelson. And 2 points. Warrenton has been able to penetrate deep all night tonight. And that pass is broken up by Warrenton, but that was Love that got in front of that one, but she wasn't able to control it. 1:33 remaining. Candace Dowell with the ball. Gets it over to Peyton Robinson. Gets it in deep to Kylie Kinsler for 2 more points. Now they get the ball deep, and a bad pass there by Love, and Dowell brings it down the court. Gives it to Tyra Henderson. And over to Kylie Kinsler. And And that foul was called on Kinsler. Don't know how, but it was. Anyway, Warrenton has the ball. Less than a minute to go. 3-point shot by Love is no good. Warrenton with the rebound. And they get the ball to Miranda Nelson, and she just runs over Tyra Henderson. So again, 47.8 seconds remaining. Tyra's down on the floor, but I think she's okay. (44-33), 11-point lead for Warrenton. She was hit pretty hard. She took an elbow, but they did call an offensive foul there. And now she's up. Walking off under her own power. I think there's a lot of frustration there. So, again, 47.8 seconds remaining in this ball game. Kinsler takes it out of bounds. Now they're going to do some housework down there now. Yeah, get that cleaned up. And Dowell brings it up the court. Gets it over to Robinson. Cross-court pass to Kelsey. And she misses her shot. And Mackenzie Gladney tried a shot and couldn't get it. .6 seconds remaining. And Warrenton has the ball out of bounds. Ball's knocked out. Kelsey Plaster has it. Gets it over to Candace Dowell. 3-point attempt for Peyton Robinson. Warrenton with the rebound, and she's called for a double dribble. 10.4 seconds remaining. 44-33, Warrenton over Elsberry. There's a 3-point attempt, and it's good. That was Candace Dowell with the last-second 3-point shot. So that is the final, 44-36, Warrenton over Elsberry. And kind of hard to say anything good about what Elsberry did in that game, other than the end of the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter. They got a lot more aggressive, and their passing wasn't as bad. But early on in this game, the passing was just horrendous for Elsberry. They just absolutely they couldn't pass it well, and then on top of that, when the pass did come to somebody, they just fumbled it. So that's what I've got to say. The worst part about this game was their passing, or lack of good passing. So anyway, final score 44-36, and just for Elsberry tonight, the scoring was Peyton Robinson had 5 points. Candace Dow had 8, she had 9 points. Kylie Kinsler had 5 points. Mackenzie Gladney had 1 point. Kelsey Flaster had 4 points. And Tyra Henderson with 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Tyra Henderson led everybody with 12 points. So in all honesty, the scoring was not there, and a whole lot of that had to do with the fact that Elsberry just couldn't. Not only could they not pass, they couldn't penetrate to the deep into the basket, whereas Warrenton was able to do that all night. The scoring for Warrenton tonight was Lexi Frederick. Let's see, 6, 7, 8. She had 8 points. And Garnisha Love had 9 points. Brooke Smith had 3, 6, 7 points. Dana Pruitt had 2 points. Audrey Payne had 3 points. Cassidy Holler had 2 points. Malia Payne had 5 points. And Miranda Nelson had 7 points. So Ganesha Love really came on. All of her points were in the second half. She had 9 points, and they were all in the second half. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and shut this broadcast down and get ready for the boys' game coming up next. And so bear with me while I'm going to go try to get a bite to eat here between games, but I still got to run down a roster for Warrenton also. So anyway, this game is over. And at least for now, good night from the Elsberry Gymnasium. This is Kenny Masterson for the Indian Sports Network. And join me again here in a few minutes for the boys' game between the Elsberry Indians and the Warrenton Warriors. See you in a few minutes, everybody.